Sir mentioned that we must forget all our differences and divisions and we must think as Indians. I will make a bold and perhaps a politically incorrect statement. सत्य के बिना शांति तो सुलभ नहीं है, ना ही मुमकिन है. Unless and until the truth is ironed out, it is thrashed out, it is discussed, it is debated and presented with honesty, there is no question of lasting peace. You will continue to brush truth and facts and history under the carpet, but the more you try and do it, कूड़ा तो वहां पे जमा होता रहेगा and किसी दिन सबको नजर आ ही जाएगा. The more you try to suppress a spring, the more it is bound to rebound. Therefore, it is important to face reality, to accept a few facts, because only then you will come to a common ground. You will come to the same page. And only when you come to the same page, it is possible for you to have a discussion on yahan se aage kahan jana hai, kaise badhna hai. But until you arrive at that consensus, there is no question of you thinking of a common shared vision. There are multiple ideas of India as far as this country is concerned, for the simple reason that history has become the most contested battleground through political ideologies. Which is why it is important for us to recontextualize Indian history. Have you ever heard of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of the South African government, which was set up after Nelson Mandela came to power? ये Truth and Reconciliation Commission होता क्या है? Simple. Before Mr. Mandela came to power, or Dr. Mandela came to power, it was a white minority which was ruling the country. Just like it was in Zimbabwe before Robert Mugabe came to power. Subsequently, they lost power and they gave way to the ANC, the African National Congress. Now, the African National Congress decided that you can't kick these people out. They have lived here for generations. And we have to coexist. But there is such deep hatred and mistrust between the white community and the African community that it is impossible for them to sit in a room and have a civilized dialogue. So they decided, उनको मुझे गाली देना है और मुझे इनको गाली देना है, क्यों ना एक रूम में बैठ के ये कर लें और आगे बढ़े. Decide करें कि आगे करना क्या है. So which is why they decided to constitute the Truth and Reconciliation Committee. Why? It is important for history to be documented where all the barbarism and all the cruelty that the African community was subjected to by the white minority was acknowledged. It was accepted. And at least by way of a token reparation, harjana bharna pada. That people who have benefited out of this slavery and people who have benefited out of this oppression must pay a certain price for what they have done to others as a token apology. That's the very argument that Mr. Shashi Tharoor is making to the United Kingdom when it comes to reparations to India. He says it's not a question of quantum, it's not a question of quantity, it is a question of principle. So the Truth and Reconciliation Committee is important because then you realize people who have, let's put it in Indian context. Assume that there is a certain community which came part of the invasion horde which came to India 1,000 years ago, let's say in 700 AD when Sindh was invaded for the very first time. Can you hold the son or the grandson or the prapautra responsible for what the grandfather did? It's impossible. You can't hold him responsible. He was not there. He did not play a role. His free will did not play a role. Therefore, you can't hold people who live in the present responsible for the actions of their ancestors. ये बात जो है बहुत जगहों पे लागू होती है, चाहे अब हिंदू कास्ट की बात करें या फिर बाकी कम्युनिटीज की बात करें. It applies both ways. Therefore, if you can't kick these people out, and it is important for us to talk about living together, the only way for us is to agree that you did this to me, this was wrong. The problem as far as India is concerned is truth and reconciliation have never been part of our historical discourse. They have never been part of our history textbooks. They have never been part of our historical curricula because we have tried to brush under the carpet everything that has happened since 700 AD. We have tried to brush under the carpet the reality because we are scared of it. There could be a good reason. People might say, अगर आप पास्ट की इतनी बात करना शुरू करेंगे और आप खोदने लगेंगे कि इतने लोग मारे गए, इतने लोगों का बलात्कार हुआ, इतने लोग बंदी बनाए गए, so many people were made slaves and they were dragged across the Hindu Kush. You say all of these things, it might incite violence. Therefore, perhaps the best thing to do is to brush it on the carpet and behave as if it doesn't exist. In the last 70 years, ever since we decided that perhaps the best way to deal with the situation is create a separate country and establish a separate country, has this proven to be a success? I don't think so. Every few years there's a problem. Every few years allegations are hurled against each other. Every few years we go back to what happened 2000 years ago or 1200 years ago. So to behave as if history is not relevant and has not mattered is stupidity. If the mind is not a fertile ground to receive facts because it does not see the value in receiving those facts, आप facts भरते जाइए, उससे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? जब तक perception और attitude में कोई change नहीं होगा, सत्य का उस पे कोई असर नहीं होगा, कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ेगा. Thank you.